Hey Fonda, how are you?
I'm good. Hi.
How's your day going?
Pretty tired,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Okay. Um, I know it's like that time of the year, so I wanted to take a moment to have a conversation with you. Is this an okay time for us to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I wanted to talk to you about results. You know, we just left like the tactical meeting a couple of days ago, and you saw the scoreboard and kind of like where we are. And I did a lot of reflecting over the weekend and then thinking about like each person and the types of support we can provide for each person so that as a collective team we get better. So I wanted to take a moment to chat with you, and I first would love to hear you out. Like, how do you think you're doing in terms of just like your role, your results, your individual goals, and also your responsibility, or the role that you play with within our collective goals?
Yeah, I think I'm doing the best I can, honestly. And this is new to me, this model, and I'm setting them up the best I can. And I feel like kids are just falling behind, and advisors aren't supporting them and focusing on their time management with them and kind of planning. Mm-hmm. So the kids are just falling behind and they're not catching up. And
okay. So I heard you say a lot right now, right? And I think maybe it might be important for us to um, be a little bit more specific about, and maybe we need to separate issues out because I heard you just say a ton of different things that are going on. And I totally understand we are in our founding year, and we're asking a lot from all of you. But I think I want us to stay grounded in the fact that like you're here for a reason, right? Like you were hired for a reason, and I think you have what it takes to get there. I think it starts though with maybe being a little bit more like solutions oriented. And we're here to support you, not just myself, but the rest of the admin team and also the entire team in general. So whenever it is that you need that support, being willing to ask for that help. But also on your end, like I do want you to have a solutions-oriented approach to things. So rather than like seeking areas to like blame things on, let's think about like what is the issue and how or what can we do? What are some like good and clear next steps to get things better, to get results, to improve? What are your thoughts around that?
I'm glad you're reminding me that I belong here because I'm like struggling with that because I just feel like this model is hard and I feel like I'm doing the best I can and kids are falling behind and I need support. I need advisors helping them organize. I need to learn more from you, I guess, about what personalized learning means. Because I was like a great teacher in my last school and I come here and I just don't know who I am anymore and it's just really struggling.
Yeah, and I hear you out, I think, and one thing to understand is that the personalized learning model is a learning curve for every single person in this group, right? Like no one that is in this team was hired from a school that's doing what we're doing. People have been in a pretty traditional setting, similar to the school where you were. But I think what's important is the fact that this pillar in our organization is an innovation pillar. Like there is no right or wrong answer. It's really about like taking risks, but also being very reflective, right? Not just doing for the sake of doing, but like doing, thinking about what results came out of that, and reflecting on like what worked, what didn't, what can you continue to do, what do you need to like stop doing because it's not producing results, or what can maybe you ask questions about, not just from me or from Fonda, but also think about the fact that like you have a group of people in this school that are all innovating. So maybe like you might not have the answer, but maybe Alamar has the answer. So I think I want to push you on asking questions, not just complaining about things or just saying what the problem is, but like really like think about what are some questions you can ask to seek clarity or supports around things that might impact student results.
Okay. Do you think, I think it would be helpful, I think we're over time. Sorry, yeah. Oliver, hey! I think that it would be helpful for me to see what modules with good pacing look like, and I just haven't had that yet. Mm-hmm. So would you or Fonda be willing to, at a future PD, like show exemplars and maybe let people give me feedback and look at my module for a week and like give me feedback on how to make sure kids are completing it?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea, and I appreciate your vulnerability and being able to like just showcase something that you've done and be willing to receive like cold and warm feedback. let me talk to Fonda. I think we can fit that into like our next PD, and have you share your module, and then we can break it apart together, and maybe walk away with strategic things or specific things to do on the next one.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks for listening.
All right.